We've got 15 Am I the Devil Reddit stories for today's video. You heard me right, 15, baby. Starting it off, what? With, I might throw away the perfect girlfriend. Am I making the biggest mistake of my life? This one has an edit that might be an update. I'm not 100% sure, but we will surely find out. But stick around for 14 more absolutely evil Reddit stories, such as, am I the a-hole for just leaving my girlfriend's place when she's on her period? And finally, the story we're gonna end the video on, am I wrong for correcting my sister's creative baby announcement? Alrighty, chat, we know this is gonna hurt. Let's lock in here. I might throw away the perfect girlfriend. Am I making the biggest mistake of my life? We have a 33 male OP and a 25 girlfriend. I'm a 33 male who has spent most of my adult life in relationships, very long ones, short ones. I've never been single for more than a few months. Wee woo, red flag right off the rip. We are one sentence in and we are wee fucking woo, chat. I have serious attachment issues and every breakup hits me like a ton of bricks. I idealize my exes, dive straight into hardcore dating, and end up in a new relationship before I even process the last one. While in a relationship, I always feel stuck between wanting to stay and wishing I were single again. Fear of missing out. My life right now. Last year, I finally made a lifelong dream come true. I quit my job and started traveling the world. It's been amazing, but as much as I love this freedom, I can't ignore the internal pressure to settle down and start a family. I've always wanted 2 kids before 35, and while I could stretch that goal a little, I don't want to wait until I'm 40. The relationship. I met my current girlfriend, 25 female, earlier last year. She's from a third world country, 8 years younger than me, and before anyone assumes anything, this isn't some passport bro situation. She never had plans to leave her country, and I wasn't even looking for a relationship or dating girls in that place. It just happened pretty randomly. I'm 100% sure that she's genuine. Things escalated when we had a pregnancy scare. That experience really deepened my feelings for her, and after that, we traveled together for a few months. We got along great. She's back in her home country now, and I'm in mine. The plan is to meet up for another trip soon, after which she'll visit my country to see if she could imagine living here. If she likes it, the next step would be marriage and her relocating permanently. But here's the thing, visas, travel, and relocation are expensive. Within the next few weeks, I have to decide if I want to continue with this relationship or not, and I'm struggling. I feel like this could easily be the most important decision of my life. And then homeboy whipped up a pros and cons list. Oh my fucking God. Chat, I don't even know where to start here. There's so much wrong and going wrong here. OP needs therapy as fuck. He doesn't have a job and is probably dropping bags to travel the world. So he has no income, yet he wants to bring a child into this world, potentially multiple children. And now he has this relationship that, like, I don't even know what to make of this. We honestly need more information. The girl could be a red flag. Like, maybe she just wants citizenship in whatever country that OP's from. Hold on, let's just read this pros and cons list, chat. The pros. She loves me deeply, probably more than anyone I've ever been with. She's kind, compassionate, has a big heart. She loves animals and people unconditionally. She's fully committed to me and would give up everything to make this work. Our sex life is incredible, best I've ever had, and our libidos match perfectly. She brings positive energy into my life, motivates me, and makes me enjoy the moment. She wants a family soon. We share the same values and beliefs, which I found is pretty rare these days. She's willing to travel with me for another 1 to 2 years and is able to work remotely. She's down to earth and easygoing. On paper, she's better than all my exes before. I have very high standards and she ticks almost all the boxes except C below. The cons. She doesn't earn much money, so I'll have to cover most of the costs. Her travel, her move to my country, and probably a large portion of our life together. Even if she finds work here, it won't be well paid and our finances will always be tight. I'm worried she won't be happy in my country. She doesn't speak the language. It's a tough one, has no friends here, and our cultures are complete opposites. Integrating will be a major change. While I find her attractive, she's not the most beautiful woman I've ever dated. My ex was more physically attractive, and that thought remains bothering me a lot. Bro, come on. The call is coming from inside the house, dog. What the actual fuck is we doing? I don't like her native culture too much. The food is average. Most people are just after the money, and I don't want to spend my life traveling there every year. She's very young and inexperienced. Sometimes I feel more like her mentor or parent than her equal. That said, she's very smart for her age and eager to learn. Ew. Communication is tricky. She avoids conflict and often says yes, even when she means no. This will take time and effort to improve. She's jealous and insecure. It's her first relationship, and there's a steep learning curve for both of us. The dilemma, you're an awful person, but let's see what OP says. On one hand, I feel like this is the one. She's everything I prayed for over the years. It would be crazy to let her go just because I'm chasing some stupid fantasy of someone better. If I continue behaving like this, I will never be happy because there's always someone better. But on the other hand, this might be my last chance to travel the world solo, have the time of my life, save money, and possibly meet someone local without all the complications I really don't fancy. Yeah, this is the guy who's gonna cheat. This is the guy who's gonna cheat, and then he's gonna justify the cheat. My question, how do I figure out if my doubts are just fear of commitment? Do I really love her enough to spend the rest of my life with her? How can I know? This decision feels massive and I don't want to mess it up. I mean, bro, this poor fucking girl. This poor woman has no idea. I mean, guys, there's a lot of labels here we could throw in. Like, narcissist, desperately needs therapy. That one's pretty fucking easy. I'm picking up like a little low-key. I mean, I guess it depends on the girl's race, but low-key racism. He's like hating on her culture very heavily. I mean, just an absolute psychopath. If you are not head over heels for someone, don't even entertain the idea, bro. Take your stupid ass fucking idiot brain and just leave this poor girl alone. This man is going to hurt the fuck out of this girl. Maybe not physically. I wouldn't be surprised if physically, but emotionally, he's going to fucking crush her. I can't get over the X thing, chat. That is so fucking crazy for someone to say. He looks down on her in every way except sexually. That's actually a very good point, Allie. Like, if the only thing she's fully fulfilling in your life is sexually, you are probably a bad person. Imagine finding out your partner posted this about you. Bro, I would lose my shit. Like, I bet the sex is amazing for him, but she has not come a single time in their year relationship. Guys, we just have to read this edit because it looks like Reddit tore this guy a new one. Edit on the post. Thank you to everyone who took the time to respond to my post. I came here with genuine intent, seeking advice on a significant decision in my life. While I expected a range of feedback, I'm somewhat disappointed by the overwhelming amount of unproductive, accusatory, and often hypocritical responses. I want to clarify my position and address the criticisms raised, both valid and otherwise. When his on constructive feedback is short and his on baseless accusations and hypocrisy is this long, you know this guy's a fucking asshole. On constructive feedback, to those who provided thoughtful, well-intentioned advice, thank you. Your perspectives are valuable and I will take the time to reflect on them carefully. This is not an easy decision and your constructive input is appreciated. On baseless accusations and hypocrisy. Number 1, racism accusations. Some commenters labeled me as racist for mentioning cultural differences and my preferences for food or traditions. Let me be clear, recognizing cultural mismatches in a relationship is not racism. Relationships thrive on compatibility and acknowledging challenges doesn't equate to demeaning anyone's heritage. Ironically, several commenters who called me racist went on to insult or stereotype the culture of my girlfriend's country themselves. An appalling double standard. Here's the thing, is those accusations wouldn't be there if your character that you've shown while posting this wasn't a character that probably is racist. Sure, maybe the accusations don't have a ton of base, but if people are accusing you of racism, it's probably because you're a bad person. Passport bro comparisons. The accusation that I'm a passport bro exploiting my girlfriend is utterly baseless. We met naturally and our relationship is built on mutual affection. I didn't seek her out for financial or cultural reasons. In fact, I'm cautious about the potential imbalances and have made no decisions without considering her autonomy and well-being. This isn't exploitation, it's responsibility. 3, comparisons to my ex. Yes, I made the mistake of mentioning physical attraction compared to an ex, and I acknowledge it was a shallow comment. But the relentless focus on this single point while ignoring the deeper context of my post is hypocritical. If commenters were as invested in promoting fairness and empathy as they claim, they would see that attraction is only one of my factors in a relationship. not its foundation. I can already tell, bro, this guy is a pro at gaslighting and manipulation. The way he's wording this is very persuasive, but also we're not stupid. You don't say that about your partner. And also, arguably, I don't think you should be with them. If that's what you truly believe, like no partner should be compared to a partner's previous ex. That's disgusting behavior. Number 4, narcissism allegations. Oh, here we fucking go. Many accused me of narcissism for weighing the pros and cons of a life-altering relationship decision. This is absurd. Self-reflection is a critical part of making informed decisions. The irony is glaring. Commenters demanding empathy and respect for my girlfriend seem to have no problem reducing me to labels and armchair diagnoses. That has nothing to do with the fact that you are a narcissist. It's not the self-reflection that we have a problem with, man. It's everything you were saying while self-reflecting. Sexual exploitation complaints. Suggesting I'm exploiting my girlfriend sexually is deeply offensive. Our relationship is consensual and mutual. If discussing the dynamics of our relationship is now grounds for such a vile accusation, it reflects poorly on those making these claims, not me. Number 6, power imbalance and dependency. I fully understand the challenges she might face if she relocates to my country. That's why I'm carefully considering whether this is the right decision for both of us. Accusing me of seeking to trap her is not only false, but ignores my efforts to avoid exactly that outcome. Number 7, assuming bad intentions. Many comments assume I don't truly care for my girlfriend and that I'm using her to meet my own needs. This couldn't be further from the truth. The very reason I'm hesitating is because I want to ensure I'm making a choice that respects both our futures. Ironically, those judging me for treating her like a checklist have done the same thing to me by cherry picking my words to suit their narrative. He is just so like, oh, let me turn it around and make myself the victim. I'm the victim here. It's not like I went in here for your guys' opinion and asked willingly for it. Oh, but now that your guys' opinion is that I'm a bad person, I'm a victim. Like, shut the actual fuck up, bro. 8, moral grandstanding. The sanctimony in some comments is astounding. While I openly admit my flaws and sought advice, many commenters respond with insults and condescension, criticizing someone for being human, flawed, conflicted, and seeking guidance, while failing to show even a fraction of the empathy you demand from me, is hypocritical. I fucking hate this guy. This man just knows how to like take anything that you say about him that's valid and twist it in a way to try to make you a bad person. Chat, I'm not religious, but I'm gonna start praying for this girl. I hope she gets out of this. This guy is fucked. Number 9, dismissal of my right to concern. Suggesting that I'm unfit for a relationship simply because I'm grappling with doubts is an oversimplification. Long-term relationships are built on honest conversations about compatibility, not blind idealism. Pretending otherwise is not only naive, but also disingenuous. 10, attacks on character. The sheer volume of insults, calling me a narcissist, misogynist, or emotionally abusive is unacceptable. These terms carry weight and should not be thrown around lightly. To those who resulted to personal attacks, I hope you reflect on whether your words were constructive or simply meant to tear someone down. Chat, we're only one story in and we've found the devil of the video already. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to get literally attacked by the entire internet in multiple avenues? Like if it was just one thing, like if they were just like, you're a narcissist, I can maybe see someone being like, okay, but like, this is my opinion on what the word narcissism means. But when you're getting attacked and have to make 11 different standpoints on different areas that people are attacking you, bro, you're a shitty person. 11, double standards on vulnerability. Many commenters claim to champion empathy, but dismiss my vulnerability entirely. If my girlfriend's inexperience and willingness to please make her vulnerable, why is my openness and willingness to question myself treated with such disdain? Vulnerability deserves respect on all sides. I came here to seek clarity on a decision that impacts both my life and my girlfriend's. This decision isn't easy and it affects 2 lives. I owe it to myself and my girlfriend to approach it with care, honesty, and integrity. That's exactly what I intend to do, regardless of the opinions of some internet Rambos. Chat, I can't believe this man wants to procreate. This man as a father, terrifying. We need to put this man in a zoo, bro. Someone needs to study this man and figure out how he came to be this just absolutely evil human being so that we can avoid this, because this is just holy fuck, chat. So basically this entire checklist is in no way useful. His entire argument is nuh-uh. It was nuh-uh, I'm being vulnerable, you're the problem. Am I the a-hole for not listening to my daughter's therapist's advice about getting a phone? My daughter Natalie is 11 female. Her mother Judy and I, 36 female, 39 male, got divorced early last year. Judy had her put in therapy after. I personally didn't think she should have, but the courts allowed it, so I couldn't fight against it. The therapist is supposed to help her manage the divorce and usually tries getting us involved. Today we had a meeting and the therapist said she thinks Natalie should have a phone so that she can contact us when we're at the other person's house. She claims it will help her anxiety if she has a way to talk to us both anytime. Judy and I agreed when she was first born that we were not getting her a phone until she was around 15. But now Judy wants to get her one because the therapist says so. I have stood firm and said Natalie is not getting a phone without my consent. She doesn't need one and she really needs to learn to accept being away from the other without constantly contacting us. In an emergency, she can use the landline at school to contact us. I don't need her to become a phone addict, and I am against even letting her have a flip phone. Judy has been fighting me on it, and the therapist keeps saying I should rethink it. I feel like I'm going insane. I thought it was better to not have your kids on phones at a young age, but am I the a-hole here, or are Judy and the therapist being unreasonable? Here's the thing, chat. I totally agree with him on she shouldn't have a smartphone. I think a flip phone at that age makes a ton of sense, and honestly, I am very pro if you're 11 years old, you should have a flip phone. Because number one, I think it separates you from other kids who have phones like that. How old are you? 11 is like 5th grade, right? I think I got my first phone in 4th or 5th grade, and I still remember I didn't have a phone, but my friends had phones. I very much missed out on like communicating with my friends because they all had phones and I didn't. And on top of that, we're talking about her anxiety here, which is also, chat, big red flag that she feels anxiety with one parent over another. And we could probably guess with what parent she feels anxiety. Definitely the a-hole. I don't think OP is taking his child's mental health seriously. Not only is he not wanting to help her anxiety, but also the way that he talked about her going to therapy rubbed me the wrong way. Like, yeah, bro, it makes perfect sense that your kid needs some therapy after her parents split up when she's so young. She should be in therapy. She should definitely have a flip phone, not only for like emergency situations, but also just, I think, culturally. Nightshade, that's a hot take. He just wants control. He doesn't like his ex in charge of decisions. I would not be surprised if he was a total control freak. Would I be the a-hole if I demanded to know who reported me to HR? Title of this one is just OP is a high school bully in workplace. I am in my early 30s and male. In our office, I am known as a bit of a jokester. Nothing mean, and I don't go out of my way to prank someone or hurt anyone's feelings, but I have plenty of jokes and give lots of silly nicknames. There's a newer woman in our office. She's in her early 20s and she has a 3-year-old. They live in an RV park a few miles away from work, and I've nicknamed her RV Reba. I don't see the harm. It's just a silly nickname. I've given silly nicknames to most of my coworkers. Why? I mean, listen, I know it depends on like what your work environment looks like, but like, why are you trying to be a jokester in a co-working space where like one wrong joke means your entire livelihood down the toilet? I don't get it. Just go to work, clock in, get your shit done, and leave. If anyone complains about it, I just explain I don't mean anything by it. It's just a silly thing I do, and there was no reason for them to be offended. Oh, he's one of those people. RV Reba wasn't thrilled with the nickname, said it was insulting, but I explained it wasn't intended to be. It was just something silly I came up with. She asked me to stop using it. I don't use it around her much anymore, but I think it's a silly thing to get upset about, so I use it around others. Well, someone reported me to HR. As they should. I got called into a meeting this morning and given a written warning to stop harassing my coworkers. I don't see how this is harassing at all. They're silly nicknames. I asked who reported me and they said it was not just one person, but multiple complaints. RV Reba and a few others were getting coffee and I wanted to know who reported me. RV Reba said she didn't know, but was glad they spoke to me about it, and since I wasn't listening to them asking me to stop. I think it was probably her and one of 2 other coworkers who can never take a joke. I want to know exactly who it was though. A few coworkers said I'm already the a-hole and should let it go, but I really want to know who reported me. Why is the theme of this stream so far? Everybody is telling me I'm wrong, but I refuse to believe I am wrong. I messed up with the perfect girl. How can I show her that I'm serious about her? We have a 26 male OP and a 23 female perfect girlfriend. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I was tricked by her older sister, 27 female. She convinced me that it would be okay if we hooked up. I know it sounds dumb, but technically we aren't official. My girl has been waiting for me to make it official, but I've been too busy for a relationship. but I think it's about that time for us to become official. But right now, she's not talking to me. I really like everything about her. She has a good job, she's thoughtful, and can throw down in the kitchen. No like, oh, our chemistry is so good. When we hang out together, it's like time just doesn't exist. She's good in the kitchen, she has a good job, and she's thoughtful, I guess. Huh, interesting how it's only things that she can do for you. We've been seeing each other casually for 9 months. We've been seeing each other casually for 9 months, and I plan on making it serious when I have the time. Seeing someone casually for 9 months is crazy. I started getting to know her sister, and her sister and I eventually had a conversation about hooking up. I was totally opposed to it, but she tricked me into believing that it's fine if we do. I'm just ready to get serious with this girl, but she blocked me, and I want her to know that I initially said no, but her sister tricked me into pretending it was okay. Absolutely zero accountability for their actions, dude. The stupidity even of thinking along the lines that like, oh, if I sleep with her sister, there's absolutely 100% still a chance that we can date in the long term. What? Hey, bro, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, if you sleep with the girl that you've been casually seeing for 9 months, sister, A, you shouldn't be in a relationship with her if you can do that to her. B, what do you fucking mean? Like, you can't hide that forever. That is going to come out eventually. Like, how did you think that was going to work, dog? I would say probably 99.999% of relationships would not survive knowing that you slept with that person's sister. Call me fucking crazy, but I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. Chat, this stream is hurting a little extra today. I can't even lie. Am I the a-hole for just leaving my girlfriend's place when she's on her period? Title sounds bad, but there's a lot more to the story. Me and my girlfriend are both 21 in university. I live at home, so she doesn't really come here as my mother is kind of conservative and is against her sleeping over. I mostly go to her place and we have sex, play video games, chill, smoke weed, just hang and have fun. My girlfriend has this habit of inviting me over and then telling me that she's on her period whenever we try to have sex. I'm okay having sex on one's period, but she isn't. Finds it gross. I asked her numerous times to tell me before I come over just so that my expectations are accurate. She doesn't, or she'll tell me that she isn't yet, and then when I arrive, inform me that she just got it, which I think is a lie, to be honest. But what do I know about periods, really? Dude, why would she lie about that? Dudes will do anything but trust the women that they're dating. For real, for real. Anyway, I told my older brother this, and he said she only does it because I let her get away with it. I asked what he wanted me to do about it since I'm already there and our relationship isn't just sex. He suggested that I leave a few times and she'll eventually figure it's best to just be honest with me. I mean, just what garbage advice for something that isn't a problem, by the way. Dude, it's not the end of the world to get to her place and learn she's on her period. Just like, oh, okay, we'll just do everything that we normally do except have sex. I recently took his advice much to the chagrin of my girlfriend and she ended up posting about it on social media. I'm now being lambasted by girls everywhere, calling me a misogynistic pig and other less happy language. The post has gone semi-viral in my town and I'm wondering, am I the a-hole? Oh, and then of course they edit it with the typical I can do no wrong response. Well, thanks guys. It looks like I'm the a-hole since I'm supposedly acting entitled to sex, ignoring the fact that she's entitled to my attention. As anyone could figure out from my post, this barrage has made me realize that this relationship isn't going anywhere. See, my girlfriend is a lot like the users of Am I the A-hole? Too wrapped up in gender stuff to ever see where I'm coming from. So I've decided to dump her since convincing you guys of anything is like pulling teeth, and she's just gonna be the same. So well done. You freed a girl from another patriarchal dickhead. Congrats. She's crying as we speak, but that's what you wanted, so good day. Imagine going into a thread where the point of it is for other people to decide whether or not you were bad in the situation or you were fine. And when everyone tells you you were bad, you go, well, you guys are just wrong. You guys are just wrong. And because of that, I'm breaking up with the person who's definitely in the right. And then I'm gonna gaslight you guys about it. What the fuck? Listen, man, I don't know who needs to hear this, bro, but your girlfriend isn't just there to have sex with you. Is that a nice perk while everybody's consenting? Yes, absolutely. Is it owed to you? No. Even if she is lying about being on her period when you come over, maybe that says something about you and the way that you go about that relationship. If she feels the need to lie about it, it's probably because you don't go about sex in a comfortable way. Another abysmal post in r/Christian. A friend of mine died. His family is Muslim and organizes a sakkada tonight. I apologize, I probably butchered that. A moment of remembrance. I want to go there and talk about Jesus. What should I do? Please answer me. this is gonna hurt. A dear friend of mine died on Saturday of cancer. I'm still very shattered about his passing. He was very kind and we talked a few times about the Lord Jesus Christ. He said that he didn't belong to any particular religion. He exuded peace many times. My friend was understanding and his actions spoke more than words. It's the second most marking death for me. I prayed for him before he passed. My last comment on one of his Facebook posts was, "You remain in my prayers." And he pressed on the heart emoji. Yes, my post here is very long as he meant a lot for me. I am so broken. He once said, "I've seen a light after a NDE," and said in front of others that I tried to be a good Christian. I feel a bit guilty because 1 year ago, until not very long from now, but not far away either, I wasn't very steeped in Christ, but my prayers for him were sincere. Do you think he was a... What? Do you think he was a toucher? What in the fuck is this post? Listen, I don't think English is their first language, but also, bro is jumping from topic to topic. Like, we're playing fucking leapfrog in this bitch. Like, this is the type of dude who starts talking and everybody just goes, yeah, but who asked? Dude, just get to the point. I know God hears our prayers and answer, and a Christian couple I know also prayed for him. Tonight, there's what they call a sakkada, where there will be encouragement, salutations, donations, Muslim rituals, but my friend wasn't a Muslim. So I've decided to go there to talk about Christ, but it is very difficult for me as it is a Muslim ceremony. How can I engage conversation? What to say? Thank you a lot. I need support. Hey man, have you tried shutting the fuck up? Because you should. Also, you should just learn, it's not even how to English. It's just like how to form stories? I don't think English is their first language. That being said, this could have been written by a first grader. Okay, good. People are telling him that they shouldn't do it. The biggest thing for me, I mean, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think this is more about OP than their dead friend. Like, it barely talks about the friend. It's all about OP being Christian. There's no doubt in my mind that bro just like low-key wants to hear himself talk about religion at a place where he just shouldn't. Like, by God, read the fucking room, bro. Just wait till they're buried, go to their grave, and pray for them there. If it's really that important for you, don't hijack what is essentially a funeral that's probably held by his family who is Muslim. Let them do their thing, let them pay their respects, and then do whatever mumbo-jumbo religious fuckery you want to do. Stay away. This is going to really upset his family. I get losing a friend, but this is not the time or the place to do this. I agree, man. Like, if someone did this at a funeral for one of my loved ones, I would fucking kick them out. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister not to order dessert? We have a 24 male OP and a 27 female sister. I went out to eat with my sister Maggie yesterday. We live a few hours away from each other, so we spend time together sparingly. We went to Olive Garden since it was close by, and I figured lunch would be a small affair since Maggie had breakfast a couple hours ago. We have our lunch and we're having a good time when she says she wants dessert. I told her she shouldn't get dessert because we just had lunch and she doesn't need to have dessert on top of her lunch. She always has been insecure of her body, but still gets dessert, which makes it worse, so I tried to bring that up, but she ignored me and ordered anyways. What a fucking weirdo. You know what it is, chat? Everybody we've read at some point in this video has no concept of like socially accepted boundaries of what you're supposed to and not supposed to weigh in on or like say. Like, bro, who the fuck cares if she has dessert? Even if she is insecure of her body, who cares, bro? It's also her decision to have that dessert. Whether she's insecure of her body or not, that is not your job to not only tell her not to have dessert, but then also remind her of her insecurities like that. I'll admit I was kind of annoyed after that. And after we left, we argued about it. Fucking why? Where does this affect you, bro? Why are you being a control freak about this? This does not apply to you. Maggie told me to back off about her eating habits, but I told her that she's making herself feel worse about her body by eating so much. I feel depressed if I eat more than one meal a day. Oh yeah, bro has an eating disorder. Now this all makes way more sense. Yes, chat. The good old, I have an eating disorder. Let me encourage somebody else to follow my eating disorder. I don't know how she can eat multiple meals a day and still have the audacity to complain about her body. We argued more and eventually she just left and now won't speak to me. I'm starting to feel bad for what I said because it obviously hurt Maggie, but at the same time, I didn't think I was saying anything wrong. Who was the a-hole here? Definitely you, bro. Without a doubt, you. I don't know how she can eat multiple meals in a day. Oh, I don't know how like every other human being operates. Please, for the love of God, therapy. Somebody's got to tell him you are not cooking with that one. There is absolutely 100% something wrong with you there. Am I the a-hole for discussing my sister's period with a friend? This happened a week ago and interested in hearing if I was the a-hole for this. I, 24 male, live at home with my mom, 47 female, and 3 younger sisters, 7, 9, and 13. And my oldest sister has started her period about a year ago. I didn't initially know she started her period until a couple months ago when she ran out of pads and her mom wasn't home, so she asked me to pick some of them up for her. She did not want to go to the store with me and wanted to go by myself as she was embarrassed to pick them up. I said next time she can order them from Amazon if she's too embarrassed to pick them up. No big deal. I was out at a friend's catching up during the holidays, 24 female, when my sister texted me that she's running out of pads and wants me to pick some up. Our mom was at work. I was a bit annoyed because at this point, she should know when she needs pads and keep track of this stuff and order from Amazon. Count on the man to tell a woman how they should go about their period, because clearly this 24 male knows exactly how a period works. I am not embarrassed at all to pick them up, but I think she needs to be better at keeping track so she's not running out and to take care of these things herself. Hey bro, she's also fucking 13. When I got home, I gave her the pads and told her that as a young lady, she needs to be more responsible and set an example for our other sisters. She should plan ahead and not run out of these items. My friend was with me when I told her this. Later that day when we were eating dinner, I noticed she was more quiet than usual. I asked her what's wrong and she said I embarrassed her, made her feel bad and silly, and it's weird I was discussing her period with another girl. I told her I did not discuss her period with my friend, just that she needs to be more responsible now than she has a monthly cycle. I also said my friend is a woman who I'm sure goes through the same thing, so there's no reason to be embarrassed even if I did discuss with her. My mom was in agreement with me. Still, my sister has been kind of distant with me and less open. We have always been close, and I'm worried I may have lost her trust. Honestly, chat, I don't think discussing the sister's period here is the biggest issue. I do think, hey, your sister's business, especially at 13, is her business, and you should go by what she wants, which in this case is privacy. Either way, guys, I think the bigger issue here that we should discuss is, hey, bro, your mindset around your sister's periods and how responsible she needs to be is inherently flawed. Like, what a shitty brother, bro. Like, your sister is navigating a big change in her life and you are criticizing her and telling her to be more responsible when she's fucking 13 years old. Like, chat, I was not ordering things off Amazon when I was 13 years old, okay? I was going to my mom and being like, hey mom, can you like do this for me? Because like, I don't have a credit card. I don't have a debit card. Why are we putting adult responsibilities on a 13-year-old? Am I the a-hole for booking a hotel in the same area as my son and daughter-in-law's trip that we didn't get to go on? My son, 30, and his fiance, 28, of 6 years, go on a family trip every year with her extended family. From what my son tells me, they travel to different locations and rent an Airbnb that accommodates the 30 people who attend. For the past 3 years, they've gone during the holidays, and as a result, we rarely see them. My future daughter-in-law and I have a good relationship, but I can't say we talk much. My son and his fiance are planning a trip in March for spring break, and I asked my son when we might be able to plan a trip together in the future. He mentioned there might be enough room at the house they're staying at. I told him that sounded great and asked him to let me know the cost for everyone attending. My 24-year-old son, 22-year-old daughter, and 3-year-old grandson also live with me, so we all plan to go. A few days later, my son told me that we'd likely have to sleep on a couch or share one of the kids' bunk beds if they were available. I assured him we'd make it work, and I sent him our share of the costs. I also told my kids, who are very excited, this would be their first vacation. That's more than a 3-hour car ride away. Last week, my son called and told me it wouldn't work for us to join them after all, and he sent back the deposit. When I asked why, he explained that his fiance didn't feel comfortable with us coming. She was upset because I didn't attend her engagement dinner last year to meet her side of the family, which she felt would make it awkward to share the vacation rental. She was also upset that I didn't reach out to her directly to discuss joining the trip, leaving my son to relay the information instead. I told my son it was fine, but I ended up booking a hotel about 15 miles from where they were staying. I also told my son he didn't have to worry about making time to see us. Now my daughter-in-law is upset because she feels that we're still somehow taking away from their trip. Edit, I should have noted my daughter-in-law's mom recently passed away, and since our relationship has been feeling more strained. I did not attend the funeral for those who ask, and I reach out to my son because I don't want to bother her. It's clear she doesn't like us much and is bitter. Okay, what I will say is this was just a big a-hole move. Like, I look at this as just like playing with fire. Like, they've already kind of set a boundary of like, hey, we don't want you there because it wouldn't really make any sense. So for them to book a hotel like 15 miles away at the same time that they're there on the trip, as much as they could completely be disassociated, it was unnecessary, and I see where the fiance is coming from. I think OP is absolutely leaving information out here. I think OP could be worse. I mean, even missing a dinner to like get to know the family that your son is about to marry into, and also not being at the funeral of the fiance's mother is a big red flag to me. That being said, this paragraph makes me think that the communication in this family is very subpar, which is kind of on the entire family in my opinion. I just need more information around how this family communicates. This is either a you're the a-hole or everyone sucks here, depending on how the communication is going. I disagree that it's an a-hole move. She already promised her other children that they were going on vacation, so she didn't want to disappoint them on that. Though I agree, OP might be leaving out stuff. Okay, Momo, you know what? I think that's actually a very valid opinion. That's a very good point. I made a move and got rejected by my married friend. Oh, this is an update. Okay, we found the original post, chat. Don't you worry. I'm obsessed with my married friend. We both work hectic full-time jobs in tech and are part-time grad students taking classes 3 evenings a week. We're in the same friend group in our program, and we usually all meet one other time a week to study together and or grab dinner. He's been with his wife since before starting grad school, and he proposed to her during our first summer break. And they got married a few months ago, and she's also pregnant with their first child. Whenever our group goes out for dinner or drinks, he brings her along, so I've met her a few times, and she's really shy and introverted, but also beautiful. And it's obvious she loves him a ton. Sometimes he picks me up from my office on the way to class since it's on the way for him. For the first 2 years of the program, I knew I found him attractive and incredibly smart, but I respected that he was in a relationship. But something changed this past semester, and I can't stop fantasizing about him. When we're with our group studying, I need to be sitting beside him. I absolutely love the car rides on the way to class. I cringe whenever someone brings up his wife or unborn child, and I felt a huge wave of anger and jealousy when we were all out to dinner a few weeks ago and he gave her a small peck. That is a flaw with you, not a flaw with them already being in a relationship and you have a crush on them. I've been fighting off the urge to make a move, but I really just want to make a pass and let the dominoes fall in place. And our last semester is coming up, so I need to do something sooner rather than later. I don't really care about his wife. If anything, she's just an obstacle in my way. That's not how you look at somebody who's married. What the fuck, bro? Deep down, I know I could offer him more. His wife and I are similar in personality, but she stays at home and doesn't work while I make over 6 figures, and it just makes more sense for us to be a couple rather than him and his wife. I can't stop thinking about having him to myself, and I just needed to get this out. Absolutely disgusting behavior. I can't get over the obstacle in my way line, chat. That is just disgusting behavior. Dear God, go to therapy. If you are literally thirsting over someone taken, you need to reevaluate yourself. I mean, it's not even the fact that you're thirsting over someone who's taken. It's not feeling guilty about that. Feeling the way that she's feeling is disgusting. So this is the update that was posted into r/AmITheDevil. I read the comments on my original post, and the majority said to not do anything or distance myself, but I couldn't get myself to. That account got suspended when I tried to post this update, so I'm posting here. Deep down, I couldn't walk away from something that felt this perfect. I spent the whole break wishing he was spending time with me instead of his wife. And today was the first day of classes, so I took my shot. I asked him if he could pick me up from work on the way to class, and he agreed. The ride there was the usual, but on the way back, when we stopped at a red light, I grabbed his face and kissed him. And he pushed me away like I was some stranger. It was like the hours we spent in his car talking and connecting meant absolutely nothing to him. It was awkward for a few seconds until I told him everything. How I felt over the last few months. We could have an amazing and comfortable life together with our combined salary, which is already over $400K. and will increase once we graduate. And we could have children, and I would be a great stepmom to his unborn child. I said we could be discreet and put on appearances for everyone and start with a few dates to test the waters, and he could go back to his wife if he decided he truly didn't want to be with me after giving me a proper chance. He had some weird smirk on his face, like he found what I was saying funny, and still he said absolutely nothing the whole way until he dropped me off and said that he won't be driving me to or from class anymore. W, man. We love to see it. I texted him later again to reiterate everything, and he shut it down without an explanation or anything and just dismissed everything I told him and my vision for our future and said he makes more than enough for him and his wife to live comfortably and didn't reply to my messages after that. I'm honestly really angry that he wouldn't even consider being with me. Being someone who takes pride in taking care of myself and looking good, making $130,000 and having good savings, being ambitious and having a loving and affectionate personality somehow isn't what he wants. I don't know if he's going to tell his wife or our friends in our program, but I still think he should at least be open to a short-term fling since he rejected me without even considering everything I could offer him. We're both young, ambitious, and successful individuals that could easily be a power couple if he could forget about his wife. There are some Delulu people out there, chat. OP takes the cake. Winner of most Delulu motherfucker I've ever encountered in life, let alone on a Reddit story, goes to this woman. I feel like everybody likes to point out male narcissist. This is an example of a female narcissist for sure. R/body language, I've never seen that. Forced to travel with a mid-30s coworker who acts repulsed by me. I'm a 29 male and mostly work remote. A couple times a year, my team meets up in the middle of the US at one of our sites to cut costs. Some of us are told to split rental cars and stay at the same hotel. Me and this woman in her 30s both live in the same general area and fly out of the same airport. I've known her through work for about 5 years now. She's a physically attractive woman, pretty fit and petite, but I have rarely seen her with a good or even neutral attitude. It is a challenge to be around this person for long periods of time, i.e., 1 to 2 hour car rides from the airport to the hotel near our sites. She's the type of person who will feel insulted if you hold the door open for her while she is trying to carry her baggage inside. She usually has a smug, holier-than-thou look on her face when talking to me and looks disappointed that I'm the one she's talking to. Then when we meet the woman on her team, she changes over to disingenuous and fake excited. It's gross. I've heard her vent about her lack of success with men to our other women coworkers at our social events, and she gives off a resentful vibe. Sounds like she's been in dozens of short-term relationships and has completely given up and has resorted to treating men she deals with in public like a personal affront. Conversely, I see her checking out / staring down random men in public places infinitely more frequently than I've ever seen anyone check people out, like she's feral. It's interesting seeing this person behave this way as a virgin man with self-control. I think I'm going to have to just deal with this for 2 weeks out of every year, which thankfully is not too much time, but I really wish my travel companion was more fun to be with. I'm going to start using the preface as a virgin man with self-control when I give out unwanted rants or opinions to strangers. I'm always staring at her and judging her, but for some reason she seems to act like she'd rather be anywhere else when it's just the two of us together. So weird. It's like my constant observation of what she does in her own time makes her uncomfortable. What a weird lady. Would I give OP the label of you're the devil? Not really. What I will say is, bro, why you so obsessed with her? Like, not gonna lie, you posting about her is a little bit sus. I kind of agree with the comments. What was the point, dog? You could have just not said anything and gone the 2 weeks out of the year that you see her to just like, you do your thing, she does her thing, and you just ignore it. I think there is also an argument, chat, for this man is potentially making her feel uncomfortable and is just so not self-aware. Listen, bro, I'll fucking say it. Being a virgin at 29 is weird. Sue me, bro. If you've gone 29 years of your life and you haven't been able to, I don't want to say convince, because convince is the wrong word, but you haven't been able to connect with a woman enough to a point where she wants to sleep with you, red flag. This is coming from a late bloomer who didn't lose their virginity until they were 19. Red flag. Hikio, I'm asexual and a virgin due to trauma. Virginity itself is not a red. Okay, I want to revise my statement. If you're asexual, that's completely different. If you're asexual and you're a virgin, like, obviously, that makes a ton of sense. I'm more talking, if you're a virgin and you've been trying, big red flag. There are circumstances where being a virgin makes sense, especially around sexual trauma. 110%. From the sounds of it, it's not like OP is trying to stay a virgin. The way he's using it as like a weapon to be perceived as better than someone, I am not getting a vibe that OP is someone who is trying to save themselves for marriage. Am I the a-hole for referring to my daughter as my eldest? For context, I don't think anyone's the a-hole, but here we are. I met my wife when she was pregnant. She gave birth to Julie, 15. I am a stay-at-home dad. My wife works. Julie's biological dad isn't involved. Julie has my last name. 2 years ago, we told her that I'm not her dad biologically, but she's still mine. I've raised her. We have Olivia, 14, who's like my mini-me. She's into everything I am, and honestly, she acts just like me. Julie has her own interests. We have Emma, 9, who's her mom's mini-me, so I think my wife is concerned about Julie feeling left out. Julie is always involved. My wife goes out of her way to ensure that all children get one-on-one time. We show interest in their clubs and hobbies and make time for them. My wife has always been concerned as Julie is more sensitive than Olivia. We've had her assessed for autism, but she's not been diagnosed. She currently sees her school guidance officer. We've been talking about having a fourth. My wife isn't as interested. I've been talking to my mom, who also sees Julie as her grandchild. And I don't know what the context is, but I said it's nice because my wife experienced all of Julie's firsts, and I have my firstborn, Olivia. My wife is upset, claiming I called Olivia my first, and I don't love Julie as much, that I can't pick and choose. My mom has been trying to talk to her and even took Julie for a sleepover as a way to prove she's just as much our family as Olivia. My wife is sure she just wants another grandchild. This is how I feel, guys. Valak said this seems like shit wording on the dad part. And Glow here has a point too. He did say firstborn, not eldest, if we're being technical. I'm glad you guys are kind of on the same page as me. No a-holes here. He didn't even say eldest. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards needs more information or no a-holes here. I think I need information on like, well, how involved was he when he first met OP, you know? I feel like we got very base level context here. I feel like I can't even really make a decision. Even based off of the baseline context, I don't really understand why this is in Am I the Devil? My wife feels intimidated by the fact a new colleague of mine has fallen in love with me. We have a male 46 OP, a female 39 wife, and a female 36 colleague. I have been happily married to my wife for nearly 2 decades, and the only struggles we sometimes have involve differences of opinion about the education of our children, particularly around a certain subject. My wife is super smart, funny, beautiful, sweet, and more, but she has always been rather insecure about her weight. Perhaps she's even slightly obese. I'm not sure when the term applies. Because I want to spare our children the same insecurities, I make an effort to ensure they don't adopt the same eating habits. However, every time I say something like, "Enough candy for today, boys," my wife hears it as, "Don't turn into your mother." She hates the way her body looks, but lacks the willpower to change her habits, which also leads to occasional friction between us. I just don't understand how she can find the discipline to change something she dislikes so much, especially when she could achieve the figure she wants within 6 months or so. That said, it's a very sensitive subject. I don't know how to word it yet, chat. The way that he's criticizing the lack of his partner's willpower to change her habits is rubbing me the wrong way. It seems like he's putting more of his expectation on the partner rather than supporting the partner's expectation of herself. I think that's my problem with this. I am fine with her weight. Yes, I'd prefer her to be healthier and leaner, but I tell her she's beautiful the way she is. However, I don't want our kids heading in the same direction, and this is a topic that's hard, if not impossible, to discuss. Recently, a new colleague at work has shown interest in me, and this situation has complicated things further. She started flirting with me right away, and even though I never reciprocated, she quickly began talking about love, saying how much she thinks about me and how she can't live without me. This caught me off guard. I told her I'm happily married and I have no intention of hurting my wife. However, my wife learned about this through my WhatsApp history and confronted me. I explained that I admire my colleague for her talents and that we get along well on a personal level, but that I have no romantic feelings for her as she appears to have for me. My wife wasn't convinced and feels my colleague is a perfect match for me. She said my colleague embodies everything I could ever want in a woman: confidence, a perfect figure, ambition, discipline, talent, and a shared passion of ours, and more. Qualities my wife admits she's a little jealous of. Admittedly, if I weren't married, I might have started to develop feelings for this colleague, but I can't because I already love someone else. Physical attraction, however, is another matter, and I've come to realize that it's not so easily dismissed. I do find my colleague physically attractive. She has even tried to seduce me sexually on several occasions. While she may be the bedroom fantasy of some of my colleagues who flirt with her, I've always maintained control and refused to do anything I'd regret for the rest of my life. I always change the subject or move away when she makes advances or touches me in a manner that is borderline inappropriate. I mean, chat, this might be controversial, but I actually think this is like very self-aware. As long as he's telling the truth, it's a good thing. Where's the back off statement to her? Okay. All right. You know what, Neptune's child? That's a good point. Because of my wife's insecurities, which have only grown since my colleague's arrival, she's not convinced that I won't fall for her eventually. It's a tricky situation. I wish my colleague would drop this behavior. While I do feel flattered on some level, I don't understand how she could offer herself in this way, emotionally and physically, to a married man, especially while she's married herself. She wouldn't just destroy my family, but her own as well. Maybe her husband deserves it, but what about her kids? I'm convinced her feelings for me are genuine, not because I think I'm all that, but because it's clear in what she says, how she says it, and how she behaves. What I don't understand is how she can claim to want the best for me while creating cracks in my happy marriage and making me miserable in the process. Also, how can she compliment my wife when she is around her while trying to steal her husband away? I feel she is a bit hypocritical and, well, should simply have remained silent, controlling her feelings, and kept things professional. My wife has nothing to worry about, but as long as my colleague is around, I fear we'll continue having moments of friction that sometimes leads to fights. What can I do about this? This is an advice post, not a am I the a-hole post. Okay, at the end of the day, what Neptune said is very important. OP has not done enough to relieve the wife's insecurities that he could potentially leave her for this colleague. He needs to tell her to back off and even go to HR for harassment if that's what it takes. And that would pretty much just be my advice. Cut all contact that isn't work related if you truly feel the way that you're preaching to us. Am I wrong for correcting my sister's creative baby announcement? Before we finish up this last story, if you've gotten this far into the video, that probably means that you're enjoying it. And if that's the case, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future reading Reddit videos. I upload 2 a week. They're usually 40+ minutes and they go up every Monday and Thursday. On top of that, I have over 110 reading Reddit videos on my channel. So if you're looking for your daily dose of drama, head on over to my channel for hours and hours of reading Reddit stories just like this one. So my sister, 32 female, just announced her 4th pregnancy with her new boyfriend, 36 male, and it's his first. She posted this picture of her kids holding an ultrasound with the caption, "And then there were 4. I, female 29, child free, texted her to congratulate her. She asked if I saw the announcement on Instagram. She kept going on about how cute and creative it was. I said I saw it, and then she added, I guess you didn't get it. You were never really into anything. So I replied, well, being an Agatha Christie fan, I actually read the book, And Then There Were None, and watched the movie. Did you know it's based on a nursery rhyme about people getting murdered one by one because they were all bad people? Maybe do a little research before calling it creative." She got mad and said, "Fuck you." Then my mom called me saying, "You insulted your pregnant sister. What is wrong with you? Can't you just be happy and stop correcting people?" Okay, this person says she sounds so annoying in the comments. Did anyone collect the comments? Okay, see, this is how I feel, bro. Frankly, you both sound like you'd be exhausting to spend time with. Like her throwing in the, "I guess you didn't get it. You were never really into anything." Just as annoying as OP's reply back. Damn, I'm sorry, chat. That was probably not the best story to read. Like I said, I don't read these before I pick them. I just pick the ones that sound interesting. I didn't realize that the comments would be impossible to find. From the gist of it, it sounds like everybody was saying she was unbearably annoying in the comments.